The first Dream Air units are being shipped right now. Over the next few days and weeks, the first reviews will start to appear. Before we dive into those, I want to take a step back. Not to predict whether this headset will be good or bad, but to talk about what will actually matter. And since I already had the chance to briefly try an early pre-production unit of the Dream Air myself, I can use that experience as part of the foundation for this video. Hi, my name is Stefan, your VR accomplice. Let's get into it. My overall impression was honestly mixed. What surprised me positively was the build quality. The device felt solid and well made, not like a fragile prototype, but like a serious product in development. The Micro-OLED image was very vibrant, very sharp, with strong contrast and rich colors. Brightness, however, was slightly lower than what you'd expect from LED panels. That didn't surprise me, but it's something to keep in mind. It was even a bit darker than the comparable Micro-OLED module in the Crystal Super, although Pimax intended to adjust that. I didn't notice any glare during my short session. I also didn't see any mura, although I have to say I'm not particularly sensitive to mura. It took me quite a while to consciously notice it on the Crystal Super as well. Overall, the lenses made a very good impression. On the software side, however, it was clear this wasn't final. The distortion profile wasn't properly calibrated in the unit I tried. After taking the headset off, I had a slight cross-eyed feeling. I was told that this was caused by an update and that it had worked better before. And honestly, I'm relatively relaxed about that. Software issues are usually fixable. Eye tracking wasn't active yet, the headphones weren't working, the head strap was still improvised using borrowed components. This was clearly not a finished product. Despite that, the optical potential was clearly visible. I perceived very good edge-to-edge clarity and the sweet spot felt large and stable. As for binocular overlap, I can't give a definitive statement since I didn't specifically test for it. But I didn't experience any noticeable issues. And then there's the weight. Within the Pimax universe, this was genuinely a game changer, especially compared to previous Pimax headsets. The Dream Air felt noticeably light, not just on paper, but in real use. However, that comes at the cost of modularity. It's no longer a modular system like the Crystal Super, only the head strap is expected to be swappable. That's a strategic shift. And this is where things get interesting. The Dream Air is not just another headset. It represents a possible change in direction. Moving away from a modular high-end system toward an integrated lightweight form factor, I can't definitively say where Pimax is heading. Long term, it's likely that lighter systems will move closer and closer to the performance level of larger headsets. In that scenario, the industry and Pimax could increasingly shift toward integrated lightweight designs. But right now, I think it's too early to say that the Crystal line will be replaced anytime soon. More likely, we'll see both lines coexist, and that coexistence will be interesting. Because the differentiation becomes more difficult. A good example of this is field of view. The FOV of the Dream Air isn't determined only by OLED panels and pancake lenses, it is also heavily influenced by the distortion profile. Originally, it seemed that Pimax intended to deliberately limit the FOV to stay clearly below the Crystal Super, even though technically more was possible. The new lens design, which Pimax calls concave view pancake lenses, makes that possible. Not exactly on Crystal Super level, but closer. And this is not just a physical limitation. It's also a positioning decision. How do you separate product lines when the visual experience becomes similar? Now, due to community feedback, there seems to be more openness. Higher FOV options may become available, possibly even multiple distortion profiles. For example, more FOV with less stereo overlap or less FOV with greater stereo overlap. And this is the challenge. If differentiation happens through software, it can also be softened through software. One important clarification. I'm talking about the Dream Air as a concept, but my current evaluation refers to the Lighthouse version. There will also be a Dream Air SE. The SE is expected to use less powerful Micro-OLED displays and not the concave pancake lenses of the regular Dream Air. That's not a minor variation, it's a fundamental optical difference. Both versions are expected to support Lighthouse tracking and eventually inside-out tracking with dedicated controllers. However, the new ringless controllers have not yet been shown in their final form. That's something to keep an eye on. I also noticed that certain features seem to have been dropped. The illuminated Pimax logo on the front appears to be gone, and the originally announced mechanical self-tightening head strap doesn't seem to be part of the current messaging anymore. This could indicate a more pragmatic approach, less gimmick and more focus on function, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. When the first reviews appear, here is what I would pay close attention to. 1. Stability of the distortion profile across different IPD ranges. 2. Edge-to-edge clarity at maximum FOV, including possible chromatic aberrations or warping. And 3. Long-term comfort, especially without an additional top strap. How does it feel out of the box? And 4. Thermals. Does performance remain stable after longer sessions? The slim form factor could make heat management more challenging. And 5. Audio quality. Do the integrated headphones truly deliver, or will users need alternatives? And 6. Brightness and typical Micro-OLED concerns like mura or glare through pancake lenses, which can also be highly subjective. In the end, no single spec will define this headset. What matters is the overall balance of the system. For me, the Dream Air is not just another product release. It's a directional indicator. Lightweight instead of modular system architecture, refinement instead of pushing FOV to the extreme at all costs. At the same time, Pimax is trying to maintain multiple product lines in parallel. That's ambitious, and that's why the coming weeks and months will be very interesting. Not because one single spec has to impress, but because we'll see whether this balancing act actually works. If I ever get the opportunity to test the Dream Air in depth, you'll of course find the results here on this channel. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe and leave a like. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Tschüss.